Yes, sir.
Okay.
PPT is visible.
All right. All right. So, in this session, we will quickly run through what is arbitration, how the dispute is referred in the arbitration, who is an arbitrator, how he is appointed. Quickly, we'll see. We'll just have a quick glimpse of these things. So, what is arbitration? That we have already seen. And we will again, time and again, we will see what is arbitration. Because, just to register yourself, you may have your own perspective, but let us have the right one. So, arbitration is a private and confidential process between the parties, and the arbitrator and the parties are free to agree how their disputes are resolved. The court shouldn't intervene except to assist the administration of the process. So this is what the judgment in the MMTC Limited versus Sterlite Industries case it said about. So fundamental principles of arbitration. The arbitration process, it should ensure principles of natural justice. That means nobody should be left unheard of. And a person, he shouldn't hear his own case. Also, the parties, they should be given equal opportunity to present their cases. The arbitrator, he must be independent. There shouldn't be any conflict of interest. This is the very, very important element of arbitration. The arbitrator, he shouldn't have any conflict with the three aspects. Number one, he shouldn't have conflict with the case outcome. Number two, he shouldn't have any conflict with the parties. Number three, he shouldn't have any conflict with the counsels, that is the advocates. Okay. So first, whenever somebody, if somebody is coming to us to resolve a dispute, first what we will do is we will do the conflict check. Because if you have a conflict, that will be the very basic element for setting aside your arbitration award. So therefore, the arbitrator, first thing what he will do is he will do the conflict check. Then only he will accept his appointment. Okay. And then neutrality of adjudication. That is very, very important. Also, the main objective of arbitration or arbitrator is to render an award that cannot be challenged or set aside. That should be a resilient award. Okay. So therefore, his adjudication process, that should be very, very robust. That he should apply due diligence in all aspects from the inception up until the rendering of arbitration award. Okay. So for invoking arbitration, to start an arbitration, what are the important aspects? You should have arbitration clause. If there is no arbitration clause in the contract, arbitration cannot be invoked. There should be a dispute, I have already mentioned. Limitation period, it differs from country to country. If it is in India, from the date of dispute, you should have started the arbitration within 3 years. In UAE, I think it is 12 years. It differs from the type of the dispute, 12 years to 15 years in UAE. So that also you must check before starting your arbitration. Then there must be some pre-arbitral steps such as negotiation, amicable settlement, dispute adjudication board, which is common in the FIDIC contracts. If that is mentioned in the arbitration clause, the parties, they should first exhaust these pre-arbitral steps before stepping into arbitration. The arbitration, it involves 3 types of laws applicable to the arbitration process. The first type of law is what is the subject matter of the dispute. In construction, the subject matter of the dispute will be contract, isn't it? So if it is a contractual dispute, then the respective law will apply. If it is in India, it is Indian Contract Act 1872 will apply. If it is in UAE Civil Code, the respective article dealing with the contractual matters will apply. The next type of law is the proper law of the arbitration agreement, which is the arbitration act of the respective country. If it is in UAE, it is federal arbitration law. Okay. If it is within the DIFC, then they have their own arbitration act. Okay. If it is in India, then Arbitration and Conciliation Act. Internationally, it is UNCITRAL law. Okay. So third type of law is the proper law of the conduct of the arbitration. That is the rules. If it is an institutional arbitration, then the respective rule will apply. So these are the three types of laws applicable in the arbitration. In addition to that, there are some soft laws applicable. What is a soft law? It is not a mandatory, but these laws are mandatory. You cannot deviate from them. Best example for soft law is IBA guidelines, International Bar Association guidelines for conflict check of the arbitrator that you can download. It is a free source. So that defines what are the conflict grounds for the appointment of arbitrator. Okay. So types of arbitration, domestic arbitration, that is both the parties are within the same country. International arbitration, one party belongs to another country. Institutional arbitration, we have already seen. Ad hoc arbitration, decided by the parties, everything. Okay. And then you have fast track arbitration, contractual arbitration, statutory arbitration. What is statutory arbitration? In India, there are several statutory laws are available. For example, electricity law, Telecom Act, okay, National Highway Act. So if any disputes arising in these domains, the respective law, they have arbitration provision that is called statutory arbitration. Then you have foreign arbitration. Suppose if two parties belong to same country, but they prefer to conduct the arbitration in another country, so that is called foreign arbitration. Okay. And then in arbitration, I have already mentioned, it is not only about arbitrator. You have arbitrator and then parties, tribunal secretary, okay, case manager, and many more are part of the arbitration. So therefore, apart from whatever knowledge you are gaining, suppose if you want to practice arbitration, then you must think beyond arbitrator. You may become case manager. You may become tribunal secretary. They assist the arbitrator in conducting the arbitration. Okay. And then also we'll quickly look at duties of the parties, duties of the arbitrator and all. So arbitration clause. In any contract, you will see arbitration clause. Okay. These are the elements of an arbitration clause. We will see in detail in the subsequent sessions. So it will have seat of the arbitration, number of arbitrators, language of the arbitration. Kindly mute the mic. I think somebody has. Law governing the arbitration, substantive law, arbitral institution, all these things will be mentioned in the arbitration clause. Somebody has opened the mic. Kindly mute. Then management of arbitration. So arbitration, the entire management is to ensure that the procedural aspects are adhered to, so that the timeline and the cost is met within. Okay, there is no unnecessary delay involved. Okay. Also, the management of arbitration, it should ensure that the process, it follow the natural principles of natural justice, so that every party is allowed the opportunity to present their case. Okay. Then duties of the parties. Parties, they have duties to adhere within the timeline, the submission procedures. Okay, so that the arbitration process is being conducted within the timeline. Okay, so the duties of the parties, that will be decided in the preliminary meeting. So this preliminary meeting, that will be explained by my colleague. Okay, and in the preliminary meeting, the arbitrator, he will explain what are the duties of the parties. Okay, just for your knowledge purpose, I will display a preliminary order. Okay, in the next session, I will show you how a preliminary order issued by an arbitrator. So that will define what are the duties of the parties. Okay, so this is the end of session 2. Now we will do a small poll for the session 2. Madhu?
Yes, sir.
Meantime, if you have any questions, you can post it in the WhatsApp group. We will address them one by one. Everyone has participated, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So the question is essential requirement to invoke the arbitration, and the options are arbitration clause, disputes, and the third option is both. So 71% has answered both, 1% has answered dispute, and 3 has answered arbitration clause. And the answer is both. Without dispute, there is no adjudication process, and without an arbitration clause, the arbitration proceeding and adjudication by arbitration is not possible.
Okay. Thank you, Madhu. So now you may continue with your session.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.